r/ask Reddit. What was totally acceptable in the 90s that isn't acceptable now? Pilots allowing kids into the cockpit to have a look around and be ducking amazed. Joey, do you like movies about gladiators? Joey, you ever seen a grown man naked? Walking all the way to the departure gate at the airport with your family friends even if you weren't traveling with them. Edit. At least in airports in the United States. Edit 2. Apparently Pittsburgh Airport is testing out allowing this again. Hopefully it goes well and the trend will catch on. When picking someone up, my family would get to the terminal before the plane landed. We'd find a hiding spot to scare whoever arrived once they were on their way to the baggage claim. I happen to be with Tsar. Just ask the airline for a gate pass saying your loved one needs assistance. You will get screened as if you're a passenger. You will not be allowed to bring anything through security that you can't bring as a passenger. And once you leave the terminal, you can't get back in. They will not hold your stuff at the checkpoint for you. So leave all non-compliant crap in your car. I miss those days too. I found my dad after 18 years and meet him at the gate. We both are big talkers. So everyone else at the gate knew our story and everyone on the plane knew our story. So everyone watched as we were reunited. It's a memory I will cherish forever. Playgrounds made out of tires. Playgrounds with all metal everything and gravel bases. You miss the burn of a hot slide, don't you? Not having a cell phone. Oh, how things have changed. Now you're almost not part of the world without one. I'm only 25, but when I was a kid growing up, we didn't have cable television and there was one computer to share. And when I was a kid, I would read and make art. I was considered prodigious and go for bike rides. Ever since I got my own laptop around age 16-17, I stopped doing those things. And it got worse with smartphones and shit. Memes. Yesterday I took a no-tech daily reader book. I brainstormed some art ideas. Did some stretching. Felt better than I had in a while. Being unavailable. If you called someone and they weren't home, you were just shit out of luck. You had to wait for them to come back, or else find out where they went and physically present yourself at that location in order to speak to them. Nobody lost their ducking minds if you didn't have an answering machine, voicemail, or a second number where they could reach you. They simply tried to reach you again later. If people are losing their minds because you're unavailable, you need to set some boundaries. Tell them that sometimes you are busy and won't talk. Works just fine with my friends. If they don't like it, then tough shit. My boss will try to call me in early or on a day off, and if I don't answer I get a lengthy speech about it the next day. Shit's almost not worth my $9 HR I get. Almost. Showing up uninvited to a friend's house to see what they're doing. HRM. 3 9-year-olds just knocked for my daughter, and 2 12-year-olds just rang the door for my son. I think it's the fact you've gotten older. Not so sure. My friends and I still did that well into our early 20s, late 90s. Might have more to do with cell phones. IDK. Playfully shoving someone into a pool at a keg party. Back then you might chance ruining a cheap watch, but now you would end up having to buy the person a new phone. Open bracket. Edit. Into. And in 20 years, when all electronics are waterproof, this notion will seem dated. Recently got a waterproof phone and I'm much less scared of walking around the pool. It's great. Calling something you don't like gay or retarded. You don't call retarded people retards. It's bad taste. You call your friends retards when they are acting retarded. Michael Scott. Sort of like the old Simpsons quote. He's kissing a girl. That is so gay. Calling your friend's mom and asking to speak to your friend. I mean, sure, I called my friend's mom, but why would I ask to speak to my friend? Now I call my friends and ask to speak to their moms. Someone knocking on your door randomly with GoldenEye and their N64 controller. What universe are you living in where you don't invite that ducker in and start blasting them in the face with the RCP-90, or hiding proxies in ammo boxes? Most dishonorable, most cowardly, most deadly, Kappa. Spiky hair. Frosted tips, bye bye. Climb aboard. We're on the train to Flavortown. Harvey Weinstein. Bill Cosby. Jerry Sandusky. Having an online persona and an IRL persona, thanks to Facebook. LinkedIn, and Google. That line between the digital world and the real world has all but been erased. Thanks to Reddit, I can still have internet friends. They're like IRL friends but fatter. You don't know, I could be Gal Gadot, sad basement dwelling man. Smoking indoors. I'm smoker. I'm also so glad we can't smoke inside anymore in like 90% of places. I like having a fairly polite exit at any time because I'm a smoker. If I'm around someone who is particularly taxing, I have an exit. Dial-up internet. Oh, the sweet symphony. Bittersweet symphony? Yep, the Vev is another thing that was totally acceptable in the 90s. Having a main character in a sitcom act grossed out by homosexual public displays of affection. Like this scene in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Technically 1989 but close enough. Yep, I didn't realize how much it had changed until I recently rewatched episodes of Friends on Netflix, and some of the show's comments' treatment of homosexuality made me pretty uncomfortable. Worrying about Y2K. I was scared. My family partied like it was 1999. Haha, I remember laughing at all the people buying gallons of water at the store, but then secretly wondering if I should do the same. It was filmed in '84, but I saw Revenge of the Nerds in the 90s and it was still totally acceptable. But today selling naked pictures of someone to every kid on campus without their consent would land you in jail, not win you the head of the Greek council. Don't forget that he straight up raped that jock's girlfriend by pretending to be the jock. WTF. If this happened in real life in 2017, there would be news stories about this, like front page of Reddit, protests, college officers involved, press conferences, hearings. Leaving your kids home alone. JNCO jeans. I loved how thick the denim was on them. It felt good to wear jeans that didn't feel thin and cheap. Except if you got caught in the rain or something. Wet JNCO jeans weigh approximately 7 tons. Memorizing phone numbers. Walking into a business and asking for a job. Unplugging the internet to use the phone. Hiring people with little to no experience and training them in-house. My answer, use of the word, retard. My dad's answer, anything and everything that's funny. Using a VCR. Sadly, the full functionality of a VCR has never been perfectly replicated. A VCR storage was limited only by how many blank tapes you were willing to buy. When you recorded something with a VCR, you could watch it forever and on any TV with a connected VCR. For free. Now, you need to subscribe to DVR service, are limited by the amount of storage on the device, or a connected external disk if allowed. And if the device gets replaced or you unsubscribe switch services, all your recordings are gone. TLDR. VCRs were awesome. DVRs suck. Run your cable through a capture card and onto your computer. Terabytes of storage. Full HD recording. No stupid DVR limit. Done. Going to a friend's house unannounced. Oh, just realized that if I get an unscheduled knock on the door, I'm assuming serial killer or solicitation. I assume serial killer because my hoe doesn't allow solicitation. ASL 18th wherever you are. Send $$. Global hypercolor t-shirts. Having twin towers. Gay dating ads that say must be straight acting. Whoa. That was a thing? I can just imagine a flamboyant guy organizing a date from one. The ad said straight acting. Never said I was a good actor. To be fair, we still have mask for mask. Blowjobs in the Oval Office. Paying with D-marks in Germany. Playing outside until the street lights came on. Calling someone to chat. I hate people calling me just to talk. I can talk and be productive, and holding my phone to my ear while I pace through my house drives me crazy. If the interaction can be face to face, I'd rather it be other text so I can reply at my leisure. Letting your kids leave your eyesight for more than 30 seconds at a time. I couldn't be a parent these days. I'd want to raise my kids how I was raised. And that'll get you a CPS call due to a meddling concerned neighbor if you're not careful. Not really. Cases like that are so rare they end up in the news and people assume it's the norm, since news doesn't report local child unharmed after leisurely bike ride. Early I guess more 80s but drunk driving. My mom used to live in Florida and she tells stories about when she was in college she would always get drunk and drive home. I don't know if it was legal but it was completely unenforced at the time. I grew up in Minnesota and we used to drive the country roads drinking beer and having a little party in the car. We called them booze cruises. This was mid 80s. Rarely ever saw another car and we drove about 15 miles per hour the whole time. It was actually fun. Prior to calling someone multiple times without getting a response was pretty normal. So was looking someone up in the phone book. Beepers Pakers. Compromising in politics. A dude dead offering kids a lift home. Says it's chucking it down with rain and they offer them a lift home. Ain't no way that's happening now. Purple ketchup. Believing that boys have penises, girls have vaginas was the only reasonable take on gender. Apparently I'm still stuck in the 90s or I must just be some stupid redneck. Edit. Sorry for starting a gender debate. I'ma go back to my off-roading and quit stirring the shit pot. Peer-to-peer file sharing. Napster. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.